Howdy everyone and welcome to class. In today's class we'll be covering Canopic jars. What are they, what do they do, and how is it going to affect you in battle? So let's jump into it. I am Professor Pulcho and I have 39 years in the archaeology industry. I've seen sand before. There is at least one jar in my house and I have a beard, which makes me far overqualified to give you this presentation, but I've taken time out of my day to help you guys and girls understand what is happening in Age of Magic with the Egyptian faction. So the big question is, what are Canopic jars? How do they affect you? How do you use them in battle? Are they even real? Let's find out. Canopic jars are jars, but from Egypt. Egypt has sand, thus making me an expert on this topic. There is no better person to teach you about Canopic jars than myself. So let's jump into it. Part 1 of the course is complete though. Give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulations on making it this far. I hope you are taking notes. There will be a quiz at the end. How do the Canopic jars work? When a guardian dies, they turn into a Canopic jar. This can happen over and over again unless the Canopic jar is destroyed. So they are like cocoons from Irizit. They spawn after a character dies, and it is your job to kill them before they are resurrected. When turning into a Canopic jar, the jar receives a buff similar to immortality. The jar cannot be destroyed unless this buff is reduced to 0. The buff loses a stack for every attack made against the jar. It is important to note that the stack is lost only if damage is dealt to the jar's health. If the jar has a shield and the damage of the attack does not exceed the health of the shield, then a stack will not be removed. Canopic jars are not affected by healing, dots, or transforming effects. Sorry, Mordred, you rat. Moving on to the next topic we have, do the Canopic jars offer any bonuses to your team? When a character dies and transforms into a Canopic jar, their aid to their allies does not end. Each guardian offers a different range of support in the jar form. Here is the information on what each hero's Canopic jar offers to your team. Please keep in mind that any hero not currently released in the game could have their descriptions changed. So I'm not going to go over them in detail. The information is here. Feel free to take a photo, enlarge it, do whatever you want. Message me. I'm happy to give you this picture as well. But just keep in mind that for the heroes that are not in the game, for the heroes that have not had an announcement made about them by Playcott on the official social media platforms, the descriptions of their abilities is still subject to change. So please keep that in mind. Moving on to the final topic of the course, we have who can interact with the Canopic jars. At the point of making this video, there are 2 heroes who have interactions with Canopic jars. The first being the healer of the faction Impus, the second being the leader of the faction, Omphis. Through Impus's passive, when an enemy is killed, a random hero will come back to life from their Canopic jar. Awakening this ability allows all heroes to resurrect from their Canopic jars when entering a new wave in battle. So at the moment, there is no PvP game mode that has multiple waves, but in game modes like Cradle of Chaos or Raids, this will take effect. Through Omphis's leadership ability, Canopic jars decreases damage allies take by 60%, with an additional 10% per added jar. So if you have 2 jars on the field, you have a 70% damage reduction. Through Omphis, yeah, that's the one. These names are passive. When a Canopic jar is destroyed, there is a chance that the hero will instead revive instead of being killed. This can only happen once per turn. So you can kill the jars. You need to get rid of their stacks and then get a final blow on them to kill the jar. But there is a one-time chance that you will not kill them and they will be resurrected instead. So it can be quite annoying to get these jars off the field. And with that, course complete. With this knowledge, you can now use jars safely and efficiently in your everyday life. Thank you for tuning in to a Pulcho lesson, course, whatever you want to call it, and stay tuned for the next one. I don't know what it will be, but I'm sure there will be one. So yeah, take care of yourselves, everyone.